and welcome to Life Less Ordinary. It is the beginning of August and I'm down the back here about to try and deal with the berry vines, the berry canes. You can see that they have been deciduous and the leaves have all fallen off. So it's much easier at this point in time to be able to tell which canes need to be cut off, which need to stay. What I'll show you, this is a blackberry, a thornless blackberry. And looking at this, I can see some nice canes here with a bit of dead branch on there. This one here I would say is last year's cane, so I'm going to cut that off, whereas this one I believe I will get more fruit off, so I'm going to cut this one back right down the bottom here. Looking over on this next one, I've already got leaves growing on some of this, so I think that I will probably be cutting back some of these ones here. And I can see some ivy that has started to take hold down the bottom here. So this is a great opportunity to be able to just look at what's going on here. You can see that there's a lot of weeds. So this area needs a good amount of mulching as well. And I will amend the soil around these berry canes so that we can get optimal growth, fruit, come the next couple of months. So this is my task for this morning. I am fully suited up in terms of covering my arms and my legs. I have my gloves, I have secateurs, and I have a shovel as well. So I'm going to get on with this, which kind of feels like it might be a bit of hard work, but anyway, it needs to be done. Do the next thing. That's what I'm about to do. So as I've been pruning back some of the blackberries, these are the thornless blackberries. What happens at this time of year is new runners or new canes get sent off. So what I've done is I've dug out one that was growing sort of in behind where the other original plant was, and what you can see here, I've pulled up the roots and you can see some new growth coming off here. For us, this is a good opportunity to be able to expand what we have growing here. So I don't need to plant any more along here because I do have enough growing here. However, I am trying to set up another row further over where a bit of those messy bits are. So instead of having to buy canes, any of the berry canes from the hardware store or from the garden centre, we can now just use what we have in our garden, in our espalier berry cane area to continue our plantings elsewhere. So it's a great opportunity for sustainability, I guess, for using what we have. So this one is a thornless blackberry because I got it from in amongst where these two thornless blackberry canes are growing. So that's a win for me. I just have to remember what it is when I plant it. So what started out as pruning berry canes day has turned into something else entirely. I got to the first two, the blackberry, and then came over to where we're planting a new row of berry canes and started planting in some blackberries, the thornless blackberries, and also some some boysenberry canes that I had in some pots that I'd managed to get last season from our canes over in the older section. So I have actually planted them in along this row, and the intention is that Dean will put in some T-posts or star pickets along this row here so that we can espalier these berries here. So I did that. Then also realised that I hadn't done much pruning down the back here, so I've pruned the roses that are on the end of each of these grape rows. I've managed to prune this rose here, haven't got to this one, but Dean finished his meeting and we had a trailer load of wood chip that still needed to be emptied out. And you'll notice that these garden beds have dropped a huge amount. So every season I'm having to fill them back up with wood chip and compost. And because it's the beginning of August, now's the time when I would pop as much wood chip in as I can on top of what's in the garden. So we're talking about 20 centimetres of wood chip. So if you have a look at this garden bed here, it is now full up with wood chip. However, over the next 2 months or so, it is going to drop, which will then leave me space this much, if not more, 10 centimetres or so, to be able to put compost on in preparation for planting out our spring vegetables. So this garden bed, it's a bit hard to tell actually, this one's, because we've just started filling this one in. This was essentially the depth that it had dropped to. So we are just dumping the wood chip in to bring it up to level. So whatever's in there, this is all nasturtium that's died back, so the wood chip gets dumped on top, this compost down, the nasturtium, and there's calendula in there as well, so that just helps with the nutrients going into it, helps the wood chip start breaking down. Now it's not going to break down for a while, but it will start, but like I said, it will drop in the next couple of months and leave enough space for us to be able to put compost onto these gardens. So that's what we ended up doing instead, as well as, like I said, the pruning. But I did get started on some pruning of the apple trees down the back here. So this one was actually quite big, and I've pruned it and started espaliering a bit more along of here. Yeah, so these ones I've just pruned any that were coming out this way and tied off some of the branches that are going sideways. So while it wasn't exactly what I planned to show you in this video, it's not that we haven't done anything. So I'm happy with this. Like I said right at the beginning of this video, you just do the next thing. I do have a list of things, and these were all part of that list, but sometimes we just have to go with the flow. That's what I'm doing this morning. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for joining me as we live our life less ordinary.